Did you see that graphic floating around of most wins by decade?
Of what?
Most wins by decade.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Does someone have the count wrong on that? I was surprised myself, but yeah, no, that was actually really cool. I've been lucky enough to be on good teams, especially in the, what would you call it, this decade, the 20s. Yeah,
Feels weird.
and I've been lucky enough to be a part of some good teams and along with some great coaches. So that's a tribute to the guys that I've been around. I wouldn't say there's a lot of individual success in that one, but it was cool. It was cool to see that.
How did you see it? Did somebody pass along to you?
I think Donovan actually. I think we just got out of practice. He like posted it on Instagram, and I was actually like, "Wow, I didn't notice that." So I reposted it. Obviously, self promotion, but it was cool.
What is unique so far, do you feel like, about this team?
I think when you have a young group like this that works this hard and is this talented, it's very rare, especially in professional sports. Usually, you have guys that at this young age are talented but don't really know how to be professionals. But here you have so many guys that are so talented, and then I ask them their age, and they're like 8 years younger than me, and I'm like, I wish I had that, discipline or not drive, but they have something special about them that isn't just their natural ability, that extra drive to want to be better. They're constantly in here. They have a routine, stuff that I didn't learn until later in my career, and that's exciting. As for a guy like me who really wants to win, and later in my career to have young guys that are motivated to go out there and compete at the highest level every night.
You're going to be you all the time, but how do you toe the line between being tongue-in-cheek and giving guys crap and actually giving them advice?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you always can joke around, right? There's plenty of time for that, whether if it's on the plane or in the hotel, we have plenty. But when we're on the court, I try and have a seriousness about it, or depending on your personality, joking in a way that lets you know that this is what needs to be done. I think I've had a lot of practice that I've been talking for 30 years now. So I think obviously, like you said, finding a balance, but I think I've been around long enough to know when to shut the hell up and when to speak up.
You've been around guys like Rudy, Joel.
Yeah.
Have you noticed just any similarities with Evan, just because you've been around for so long?
Yeah, I would say Evan's ability to protect the rim is I don't want to make a quote and have it go viral, but is along the lines of how Rudy Gobert protects the rim, right? With their size, kind of their frame is the same, and then you look at Evan's ability to play in the mid post, i.e. Joel, and there's a ton of similarities. And I think the coolest thing about Evan is that he's so eager to be better every single day. He may not be vocal about it or demonstrative, but you can see that he's eager to be the best Evan that he can be every single day, and he hasn't even scratched the surface of what he could be. He has so much potential, but I think his drive and his work ethic, every day he's in here working on something, whether if it's maneuvering on how to drive on physical drives, or posting up, or playing out of the short roll, or being able to pass, which is another thing that he's really, people don't really notice, but he's a really good passer. He's just always working, and like I said earlier to Serena, guys that are that young and have that much drive, you don't usually find that, especially in professional sports. So he has some similarities to both. I'm not going to give you a quote that's going to be all over House of Highlights or something, but he definitely has some similarities to both for sure.
Have you been trying to get him to talk more, or do you just think it's the last class?
No. I mean, Evan's going to talk. I mean, we get him to get out of his shell, here and there. But you never want to change who someone is, and he's pretty darn good. Whatever he's been doing before I even got here, he's been pretty darn good. So if he just keeps doing that, I'll be happy.
What do you think is the next step for him?
For Evan?
Yeah.
I think for him is consistently doing the things that he's been doing. Just at a higher, continuing at a higher level. Taking the next step, whether if it's on defense and being a lockdown defender and anchoring our defense, and then on offense, continuing to be a primary guy that we can play through, whether if it's in the short roll or him facilitating up at the top or getting rebounds and pushing. I kind of think that's the next evolution for him.
you've talked about just how vocal you are and how you have been throughout your entire career, but coming to this kind of team, like, have you taken it to a different level because you noticed something that was needed from you from that standpoint?
I think I just come in and try to do the little things that's needed to win. Sometimes that's talking more. Like I said, I've been talking my whole life. So I think, just coming in and being me, I'm not going to change who I am. I don't need to do more. I don't need to do less. I'm trying to come in and blend and be a piece to this team that can help add W's in the win category.
How do you feel like that early transition is going for you?
I think it's been great. I mean, when you have like a coaching staff like JB, Buck, Luke, JJ, Sid, Dan, all those guys have kind of made that transition, really seamless. Whether if it's pulling you into their office and watching clips, or kind of like telling you, hey, this is how we do this, and look for this. Just those little tips that help. So when you get out there, you have that in the forefront of your mind. Okay, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z.
How do you describe your own personality?
Probably annoying to some people, but enjoyable, talkative, funny, all those things.
Nobody used annoying.
Okay, good. There we go.
So you're good.
I'm golden. Are we good?